Great. Well, good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Tahoe-Truckee Sunday morning celebration service. We know that there are many paths to God, but they all end in oneness and in love. And so wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. I am Rev Pam Brandman, the senior minister here at the center, and we like to remind everyone that our center's purpose is love. Our vision is embracing all and serving with love while awakening to the one. We set our intentions today with our receptivity statement that you'll see on the screen if you would read along with me. I am here by divine appointment. Something I am about to hear applies to my life. I am open, receptive, and willing to explore the possibilities. And so we welcome you if you're here in the sanctuary with us this morning, or if you're here on Zoom or watching us on the recording. If you're on Zoom, please keep your mic muted, so if your dog barks, you won't show up magically on the screen. But we're glad to have you here as a part of our congregation this morning. Our host on the AV system this morning in Zoom is Diana Misets, and she. So if something's awry, you can chat with her and let her know that the sound needs louder or softer or whatever. And also, if you just want to chat with your friends that are online, that's one of the features of being online. But now we get to go to one of the treats for today. And we're welcoming back our musician, Todd Tanis, who hasn't been here, I think, in 3 years. And so there are already many happy faces in the sanctuary here. We're all glad to hear him. We've been hearing a little bit of Charlie Brown while we've been getting in the mood. But Todd Tanis grew up in Shelburne, Vermont. And he moved to California in 1993 after graduating from the University of Rochester with a BS in optical engineering. That's a good engineering school back there. But he's not doing that so much, I don't think. He's a prolific composer, musician, artist, and teacher in Truckee. Over the years, he's performed at many churches, community theaters, choirs, and senior communities. He created the acoustic murals in the Truckee Community Arts Center, and he's been involved with the Truckee Community Theater since 2013. This summer, he has just completed directing their production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. So it was a great experience he's been sharing with us. Todd coached alpine ski racing for 14 years and boys gymnastics for 18 years. So wonderful sharing with the community. And Todd enjoys mountain biking, trail running, hiking, and figure skating, so I think he's living in the right place. What do you think? Please help me back welcome Todd Tanis.
So a meditative song? All right. I'm going to sing with you We Are One by Jerry Florence for a meditative song. We are one, we are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. And in that unity we can live in harmony, and peace has come, 'cause we are one. We are one, we are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. And in that unity we can live in harmony, and peace has come, 'cause we are one. We are one, we are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. And in that unity we can live in harmony, and peace has come, 'cause we are one. We are one, we are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. And in that unity we can live in harmony, and peace has come, 'cause we are one, and peace has come, 'cause we are one.
That Jerry Florence music. So our practitioner this morning is Brenda Heldoorn. And Brenda and her husband have built a large segment of their business, Carson Welding, based on believing that our relationships, all of our relationships, are a relationship with the one God, right? And they, one morning about 20 years ago, it started with an encounter. And so they woke up, and there was a whole lot of noise going on, pots and pans banging in the kitchen, and thinking that it was their son making breakfast. Don went down the hall and was ready to tell him to quiet down. But when he got to the kitchen, he stopped, because there, standing in the middle of the kitchen, helping himself to the fresh bread on top of the refrigerator, was a 450-pound bear. They were living in South Lake Tahoe at the time. And so the Don, not quite knowing what to do, he yelled at the bear to leave and ran back to the bedroom and slammed the door shut. So the bear complied, but the seed had been planted. You know, not wanting the bear or any bear to be euthanized because they were creating problems just because these human people had left their trash out on trash pickup day for the bears to come and eat, they thought. But that shouldn't be the way. We need to share our beautiful Tahoe environment with the bears. They were here first, right? And so the idea came, Carson Welding, for the no bear can. Beer too, but no bear can. And so that business was started, and now it's a flourishing part of their Carson Welding business. And Dawn is a very talented wildlife photographer now. And Brenda, her spiritual connection to the One has been strengthened over the years, and so she is now in service as a licensed spiritual practitioner. Please help me welcome Brenda to provide this morning's reading and invocation.
Thank you, Reverend Pam. That story always brings me back to that morning and everything that unfolded from that day. So this morning's sacred reading comes from Ernest Holmes, and it is an excerpt from a letter that he wrote to a student at the beginning of week 48. God is all there is. There is nothing else. God is all there is. There is nothing else, whether it be a bird, a beast, a fish, a tree, a man, or an archangel. God is still all there is. All things are manifestations of the one presence, the one power, and the one life. This is the secret of secrets. The thought and the idea of God must become warm and intimate and colorful in your consciousness. A sense of the indwelling presence must be real and immediate, for there is no there, only here. There is no then, only now. No tomorrow, only today. There is no place where you, the individual I, leaves off, and God, the universal I am, begins. To you there is only God, and God in you, and the two are one. Seek then to cultivate this divine indwelling presence, for it will respond to you, and you will know that you are not alone. May all the power in the universe be with you, even as the divine light casts its radiance before you, and infinite love guides you on your way. I just breathe those words in and I feel them in my body. As that seed takes hold. and finds fertile ground. For there is only one power and one presence. There is only one mind. And the nature of this one is to create. And from itself, its own substance, all that is has come to be. And for that seed growing in my soul, I know that this is true. God and I are one. All life, all creation, all expressions are expressions of the one. And therefore, all is good, all is holy, all is sacred. There is only joy and love overall. So I can simply breathe, and I can be. I can be one with the one. And with this precious gift of life, I am called to express this truth into the world, recognizing there are many, many places where it has been forgotten. It is obscured. It has been pushed aside. And a false belief of separation has taken hold. And each one of us are called to be an expression of the truth and to call a song of remembering into life. So with a full and grateful heart, I just give thanks. I give thanks for the seed of knowing growing in the sacred heart of truth. That is it, the soul of my being. And I release my word into the law, knowing that it is always returned fulfilled. And all is well, all is well, all is well. And so it is. I'd like to invite Todd back.
I'd like to sing for you, and if you'd like to join me in a song by my friend Leslie Lightfall. It's called Rainbow Bridge. It goes like this. When I greet you with an open heart, I see the light of your soul, it's shining. When I greet you with an open heart, the light in me comes shining through, and the sparkling colored light builds a rainbow bridge. Come meet me in the middle, my good friend. When I greet you with a loving heart, I see the light of your soul, it's shining. When I greet you with a loving heart, the light in me comes shining through, and the sparkling colored light builds a rainbow bridge. Come meet me in the middle, my good friend. When I greet you with a joyful heart, I see the light of your soul, it's shining. When I greet you with a joyful heart, the light in me comes shining through, and the sparkling colored light builds a rainbow bridge. Come meet me in the middle, my good friend. friend.
Meet me in the middle, my good friend, the Rainbow Bridge. This is partly what we're talking about today, that we're all part of that one life. All the variety of people that we have and all of our aspirations. And when we look in the creatures that are made on the earth, I mean, it's an amazing, the billions of types of species that we have, just count the number of beetles, for instance, and the stars in the sky. How many trillions of stars are there, right? The universe is infinite. And yet, here we are. It is all in this one point at one time, right? Our consciousness grows. And so we're aware of that part of God that we know. And so part of what our calling is to expand our awareness of knowing that we are one with God and God is all there is. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And when the reading Brenda had this morning, there is only God. God is all there is. And these are really simple words, but they transform our whole perception of life. Everything, all people, all creatures, all things are a part of God. Now, God is not this anthropomorphic God that's out there or up in the heaven, maybe with a long beard and a white robe. No, God is. All of life is the body of God. God is within us. God is expressing himself in us and as us. Right? We are the eyes and the hands and the ears and the voice of spirit, the legs to move and serve other parts of God. Right? So instead of seeing ourselves and everyone else as separate and beings randomly moving around and interacting, we realize that we are each a part of God interacting with the other parts of God. Each relationship is ultimately a relationship with another part of God. So to know this is to live in awe and wonder. Right? Now today we're going to talk about this, but we're going to take it a step further, and to say that if God is love and God is all, then all is love. Because we are wholly part of the one. We are created by love and of love. That is our true nature. We are an expression of divine love as every person, every creature, and everything in the universe. So how do we discover God? How do we know God? Now in the reading, Ernest Holmes wrote, and it was in the home study course to his students, week 48. I mean, it's a very loving letter. How would you like to get that letter, with your lesson, right, and read it? And some of these lines are just so amazing. A sense of the indwelling presence must be real and immediate. I mean, as Brenda said, in some ways, that's all we need to know. When we have that indwelling experience of the divine, we could just spend our days being in that moment, right? It's so awesome. Holmes also said the thought and the idea of God must become warm and immediate and colorful in your consciousness. All right? This is not this vindictive, judgmental God that's waiting to judge us and be angry, and every little thing has to be perfect, and or else we're going to end up in hellfire and damnation. No. God is this warm and loving, intimate entity. It is a divine intention, but it is everywhere present as well. To Ernest Holmes, the secret of secret is that all things are manifestations of that one presence, the one power, the one life. This isn't a mechanical, unfeeling presence of a universe that just unfolds automatically. Scientifically, it's all about chemistry and the laws of physics. There is a law that manifests in forms when we set up our intentions of what we believe, really, and the law manifests like a mirror. But the difference is that we control our intentions. we can change our thinking and change our life. The universal intelligence, the God, the One, is the God of infinite love that is everywhere present, including within us, our guide. So God manifests itself in the world through us and as us all. And this is the big end, it will respond to us so that we know that we are not alone. Ernest Holmes knew God as a loving, indwelling presence. He said, there is no place where you, the individual, leaves off, and God, the universal I am, begins. The two are one, the one and only. Right? Just think of that. If you look at your fingers and you shift into that soft gaze, perhaps in a meditation. And this happened to me one time. I had a cosmic consciousness experience when I was meditating when I was in college, and I looked at my hands and I didn't see an edge to my fingers. There was just a transition into everything else in the universe. And I imagined the farthest corner of the universe that I could imagine, and there was God, but there was also little tiny pieces of me. Right? We have that consciousness. When we go into that oneness, we are everywhere present as well. We can all know everything without ever knowing how, because we are tuned into the divine. It's like hooking your computer up to the internet, and you can know everything, right? So, and also, Ernest Holmes knew that infinite love guides our way, always. Always. We just have to ask and listen. Right? If we want to know love, if we want to discover the divine, we only have to look within and listen to that voice of spirit within our hearts and within our souls. Now, there's a Hindu story, a legend, about there was a time when all human beings were gods. Now, in the Hindu teaching, they have lots of different gods, but Brahman is the overall god. So it's all a part of it, and just elevating different aspects of the divine, really. But the human beings abused their divinity. So Brahma, the chief god, decided to take the divinity away from them and hide it somewhere so they could never find it. Brahma called a council of the gods to help him decide where to hide the divinity. Oh, let's bury it deep in the earth, the gods suggested. But Brahma answered, no, humans will dig into the earth and they will find it eventually. Some gods suggested, let's sink it to the bottom of the ocean, the deepest ocean. And Brahma said, no, humans will learn to dive into the ocean and we'll find it. And we have. And then some gods suggested, let's take it to the top of the highest mountain and hide it there. And Brahma replied, well, humans will eventually climb every mountain and they will find their divinity. Then all the gods gave up and said, we don't know where to hide it, because it seems that there is no place on earth or the ocean that the human beings won't discover their divinity. So the Brahma thought for a long time, and then he had the answer. We will hide their divinity deep in the center of their own being. Humans will search for it here and there, but they won't look at the divinity inside their true selves. So all the gods agreed that this was the perfect hiding place, and the deed was done. And since then, humans have been going up and down the earth, digging and diving and climbing and exploring, searching for their divinity, which already lies within themselves. Right? Divinity lies within us all. We can lose ourselves with all this doing and all this getting, this preoccupation in exploring and taking charge of the physical world. But this Hindu story suggests that the divinity that we're looking for is the divinity within us all. It's not all about our accomplishments. We are already an inseparable part of the divine. We don't have to please God. We are already part of God. We are already God's beloved. And so to discover what God is, we have to look within to our own hearts and being. Ernest Holmes said in the Science of Mind textbook, the only God man knows is the God of his own inner life. he can know no other. To assume that man can know a God outside himself is to assume that he can know something of which he cannot be conscious. He goes on, this does not mean that man is God. It means that the only God that man knows is within, and the only life man has is from within. God is not external, but is indwelling at the very center of man's being. So let's think this through a little bit more. In the Bible, in Genesis 5:1, it says, when God created man, he made him in the likeness of God. So one of the things that we often do as humans is that when we look within God, we don't discover the God. God is not made in our image. We have all of our fears and anxieties, our judgments, our anger, and all these things that come and go, and that's not what God is. God is the changeless. And so we are made in the image and likeness of God. That is who we are, that we are waiting to discover. As our understanding of God grows, our ability to embody that greater possibility expands. In the book, Can We Talk to God? Ernest Holmes said, I believe that God is to each one what that person is to God. The divine nature must be infinite. We know only as much of this nature as we can embody. Right? So, if it's like if you can only count to 10, that's what you have. But if you know to count to 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000 or 1,000,000,000, just imagine how that makes your world so much bigger. Right? And so that's getting to know God. Now, how we relate to the world is how we relate to God. If we begin with the principle that God is all there is as the basis of our thinking, we can be spiritually minded, right? So this means that we realize the complete unity of God and its creation. We're whole-minded then, right? The wholeness of God, the unity of life. And to be whole-minded is to be holy. Or as Ricky Byers likes to sing, we're holy, holy, holy. Right? We're sacred. We're a sacred creation. And this also means that all of our relationships are relationships with another part of God. Fred Rogers said, if you could only sense how important you are to the lives of those you meet, there is something of yourself that you leave at every meeting with another person. Right? Each interaction might just seem like a smile, holding the door open, someone you meet in the checkout line at the grocery store. It's all a meeting with God. Now, if we want to change our world, if we look out and we don't like what we see, we're looking at parts of God. But how do we change that? Well, we start with ourselves by changing the quality of our relationships with the world. Right? We do that by changing our thinking pattern, by letting go of our beliefs, our thinking patterns, and the habits, those ruts that we've really dug deep in our lives, that these are the barriers that keep us from experiencing those greater possibilities that are known in the infinite mind of God rather than our finite limited experience. It's like when a horse, they put blinders on a horse so they won't get distracted by everything else going on. Well, when we put blinders on, we get distracted from the greater possibilities and we just get stuck going straight forward in the same path over and over and over. So last night, my husband and I, well, not last night, Friday night, we went to see Hadestown, the musical. And it's based on several Greek myths, including the story of Hades, who was the brother of Zeus and god of the underworld. And Hades kidnapped his niece, a little incest there, but Persephone, and he married her. And so she agreed to stay with him in the underworld for half of the year, which is fall and winter, as long as she could come back to the upper world in the summer, for spring and summer, and be with her mother, and with the flowers and the sun and the trees and everything that she loved. Now this cycle happens over and over again each year, even though it's sad. And so this story, I won't give it all away, but it goes into the cycles of struggle that we have with love and poverty and the fates, right? We think that it's just going to happen over and over again. This generation is like the next and the next, right? And there is a belief that these cycles must continue forever. That's a barrier that keeps us individually and collectively caught in these endless cycles. Right? We want to have a world that's more inclusive, that changes. All of this violence that's going on, just whether it's person to person or gun violence or country to country, all of these things that we there's so much. I read an article about a woman was saying that she had an experience staying at a hotel in Las Vegas that brought her face to face with the experience of what gun violence is really like. She was, in her hotel, and she was going to go downstairs to get something to eat. And when she walked out into the hallway, she was getting onto the elevator, and then this whole crowd of people crushed into the elevator, and they must have 15 people or so in the elevator. And the door wouldn't close, and everybody's in a total panic. They said, "Oh, there's a shooter." Everybody's totally going crazy, and the door wouldn't close. And so they finally figured out there's too many people; it's too heavy. So 2 men got off to take, whatever their fate would be. And the door closed and they went down to the first floor. Well, eventually she found out that what had happened is a plate glass had broken. And that sound, somebody thought it was a shooter. And it went out on the internet, and people all over the strip in Las Vegas were on a similar panic. And it was just crazy. We are so primed to, kids go through these drills of protecting themselves. They know more about, we knew about a nuclear war drill growing up, but they know about take cover because there's a shooter in the building, right? Just think of all the stress that this takes. We are primed to expect this. We need to change our expectations if we're going to change any of this. And so, how do we do that? The cycles don't have to continue. We have to align ourselves with that inner light, that there can be a new pattern set in motion. Remember, in the Bible it said, it's our Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom, Jesus said. Right? The divine gifts are freely and generously given, and it's up to us to see them and to receive them with gratitude. In the Course in Miracles, there's a famous quote that some people had thought that it was by Rumi, but it's actually from A Course in Miracles. Your task is not to seek for love, for merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. So the love is always here. But we think that to protect ourselves, we have to build this barrier. This person's not safe. This person's different than me. They're definitely not safe. And I want someone that looks just like this. And I'm going to hang on for dear life. And they better not change because I want them to be that same way for the rest of our lives. And so we're looking for safety outside of ourselves in a relationship. And so that relationship becomes one that's tying us down, and it's like those blinders, right? A true relationship that's built on that divine love of possibilities allows each person to lift up and evolve and grow. This is an amazing change in a relationship. My mother and father were married for 50 years, more than 50 years, and they talked about how about every 10 years they had to renegotiate their marriage because they were different people. The world was different. And so that's what kept it alive and young and vibrant, right? Now, these barriers also mean that if we don't feel loved, it's because we are looking for love outside of ourselves. We are looking that this is what love looks like. I bought this package, and this is what I want, and I don't want any of the other options that are there in the store. I want this one. Of course, somebody else already took it, so you get fixated on it or something like that, or the person passes away. But all of these things, these are whatever contrivance we come up with our mind, we come up with a barrier. But these barriers only exist if we construct mental and emotional barriers to block our perception of the divine love that is already within us. Right? Any sense of separation from love and from God is an illusion created by those barriers, because we are one. That is the truth of who we are. And so if there's a barrier, guess who put up that barrier? It's not the divine, it's us. And that means it can be taken down. Right? Now, what are these some of these other barriers that block our perception of God, of our greater good, of love? Well, part of it could be that anthropomorphic God. We've got to please God. This is the straight rules of how things need to be. It's written down in the book. Well, those are the rules of men, and men mostly, that were written down, that we're supposed to follow. And that's not the divine. The experience of the divine. This is one thing I love about the Centers for Spiritual Living. It's about that spiritual experience directly with the divine, of knowing who we are, right? Of seeing that there's something greater, rather than closing us down to follow this same way, that we have to have relationships in certain ways. And also that if everyone is a part of God, what does that say about things like holding grudges, over past events that happened, last week, or maybe a century ago, or just a year ago, right? What does it say about forgiveness? Forgiveness frees us even more than it forgives the person we forgive. What about people pleasing? That's a good one. That, we think that if you're going to love me, I have to please you. But what about courageously speaking our truth as a voice of spirit? Right? Standing up to being that voice of spirit. Perhaps acting passively aggressively against anyone. We're acting against a child of God. Holding on tight to our limited riches, thinking that they're limited in the first place, versus sharing the infinite abundant flow of life with all people. It's all God. It's, money is just, it's God energy in form, right? It's the divine flow that's underneath it all. So it's being in that flow is what frees us up, rather than saying, this is mine and I'm going to hang on because there's not enough to go around. Well, there's plenty. Now, as we heal each barrier to developing, loving, forgiving, and wonderful relationships, we also strengthen our relationship with God and as God. Right? To remove these barriers, we could wage a mighty battle, and that would only then strengthen the barriers and create further separation. If you're fencing with something, it gives it strength and creates that separation between you and it. So the alternative is to compassionately embrace the barriers, embrace the fear. Be compassionate, whether it's our fear or someone else, but those barriers were built up as protective barriers for some reason. And what is that underlying thing? That is what needs to be healed. That is where the work begins. And when we do that, we unleash the power of the divine love to heal our wounds and take care of our fears and unfulfilled desires. As we let love dissolve the illusion of separation, the full wonder of divine love is revealed as the truth of our being. We are wholly loved, just as we are, a beloved creation of the divine. And so looking out with this consciousness of divine love, we can open our hearts to the whole world and all people without fear of external experiences, because they too are a part of God, the one and only. Michael Beckwith summed these thoughts up very well. He said, "Do you realize how much effort it takes to block your blessing? How much effort it takes to prevent God from being God in your life, as your life? All of those habits that have been ensconced within you, the normalized fear and regular complaints, worry and doubt, have been an effort to go against the universal flow. Release it all now and start living in an adventure of expanded awareness. Prepare yourself for the great reveal, which is, we are the light. So step out of your comfort zone from the fear and the inertia that kept you blocking your old patterns. And heed the words from the Course in Miracles and remove all those barriers that have kept you safe, but really were your prison. Be ready to rise like the phoenix, ready to embrace the world with the wonder of spirit and embrace your own divinity. We are the cavalry that's coming to our rescue to save the day and unleash the divine wonder, grace, and love and power, the presence of the divine. It's not something out there that's going to save us. It is allowing that divine within us to rise up and heal the world and our own lives. So this week, choose one area of your life to work on. Maybe it's long-standing resentment or codependent or depending. Maybe it's fear of intimacy is holding you back. That's a big one, right? Perhaps you're judging a love relationship based on unreasonable expectations rather than building that relationship that you all both can expand and grow. Or maybe you're just playing small, playing it safe, rather than living life to the fullest. Whatever it is, take a stand. Listen to spirit within. Ask for guidance. Reach out to a minister or a practitioner or a friend, their therapist. They will support you as you begin that healing process. As a part of the one and only, you deserve only the best. Let's take this to prayer. So as I breathe slowly in and out, I focus on the divine indwelling presence. There is no there, only here. There is no then, only now. There is no tomorrow, only today. There is no place where I end and God, the universal I am, begins. There is only God, the one and only. And so I let go of any feelings of fear, of limitation, of any barriers that have been holding me back. And that divine light fills my being and radiates around me and guides my way. I see what I must release, and I do. I see what I must embrace, what new paths I can take, and I do. I accept the generous gifts of the time, talent, and treasure that people graciously and lovingly share with me and with this center and with all the world. We love and support each other to experience that the greater yet to be. My life rises to new levels of grace, of joy and love and wonder. All my relationships are transformed by the power of love. We are all lifted up to higher levels of consciousness together. It brings greater love, greater wholeness, and greater peace on the earth. I bless this Center for Spiritual Living, Tahoe-Truckee, and all of the people who love and serve here and in the world as parts of the one. My heart is full of joy and gratitude to be here, to be loved, and to be fully alive. All is well. And so I let go and I let God make it so. This is the truth of who we are. And so it is. So I'd like to welcome Todd back for one more song.
This is a song I wrote called I Am Come. Beloved almighty presence, in the moment of life. There is but one life, and that life is my life right now. I am spirit and I am law. I am connected to the whole. I breathe freely and deeply from body and soul. I am expression, creation, healthy and whole. I love freely and deeply in body and soul. I am grateful and peaceful, and let my word go. I am come of a heavenly state, the state of perfect wholeness. I am come of a heavenly age, the age of love and fullness. I am come unto myself. I am come unto my heart. I am the life and resurrection. I am the joy and the perfection. I am transformed from glory to glory. I am the light of the world. I am living the day. I am life. I am lighting the way. I am light. I am loving of age. I am love. I am coming of age. I am come. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I
Hmm. When the words are inspired, when we hear this, so that's perfect ending for today. So, but it's now is our prosperity time. And so at Tahoe-Truckee, CSL Tahoe-Truckee, we know that God is our infinite source for our center and for each of us as individuals. So your donations to the center are one way that you can support our vision of embracing all and serving with love while awakening to the one. You know, in our spiritual community, this is a place where we get to come together and be the voice of spirit in the world and to make a change and to make a stand together to lift up the world to that higher possibility that we would like to see, that we are one, as Todd was singing about. So if you would take your offering then and hold it over your heart and repeat our prosperity affirmation with me. I gratefully and joyfully share my offering which flows from God, my infinite source. My gift blesses this center and all who are guided, healed, and empowered by its activities. All I share with life returns to me blessed and multiplied. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am
Grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
so generously given. We know that it is all God and it is all good. And so we bless them. We bless the giver. We bless the receiver. We bless all of the things that they support unfolding in the world, support the center, and support each and every person, every thought, every joy, every smile, every wonder. For it is all God and it is all good. Thank you, Father, Mother, God. And so it is. All right. Well, I'd like to welcome everyone visiting us here today. And if you're a first-time visitor online or if you're just joining us online, you've found us on our YouTube channel. You can go to our website and sign up, and you can get a newsletter that has all of the activities that are happening. And we're, there's lots of things different happening. So I'd like to thank a few people this morning. One is Diane Mizitz for doing the AV hosting and Zoom, and Michael Brandman for handling the camera. Our musician, Todd Tanis, practitioner, Brenda Heldoorn, and our hospitality this morning was Nancy O'Neill. So thank you all very much. We also, just an extra plug, so we are looking for that perfect, wonderful office administrator who is on their way to us. So if you would like to give them some guidance that this is the place they're looking for, let them know. So that is unfolding. But now it's time for our announcements. So right after the service today, please join us in hospitality here in the hospitality room. So we have some goodies to share and along with conversation. Also, if you're online, we'll keep the Zoom open for a while so you can chat with each other. And we'll try and join you from the hospitality for a few minutes as well. Our website, Tahoe-CSL.org, has all of the information about all the activities that are going on, and you can register for classes or all the things that you would like to do. Next Sunday, August 7th, we will be in person and on Zoom again. We're starting our new August theme, which is Living Everyday Wonder, Nature. So the topic will be Earth Forest Report for Duty. All right? We have a role, and it's not just being in charge of nature. It has consequences, and we want to live in harmony. So I'll be speaking. The musician is Callie Hansen. She's coming back. She's been away for 3 months while she has a new grandbaby, so she'll be full of smiles and good stories. And the practitioner will be Michael Brandman. So please join us this next Sunday. The video recordings of our service and the minister's talk will be uploaded to our website as soon as we have a new administrator. But you can look at to the other videos in the past or share them with your friends because they're all up there for 2 years worth of videos. So, and the inspirational messages are also on there as well. Now today is a special day for the Washoe tribe. They're having their 30th annual festival at the Meeks Bay Resort in Tahoma. So a Washoe tribal elder is going to join us in 2 weeks when we have our drum circle to bless this center and the land where we are located because it's traditional Washoe land. And so it is our turn to go share with them at their at Meeks Bay Resort, which they own and run. And it's the second day is today from 10 to 6. Admission is free. Parking is $10 if you park there, but if you go to Homewood Resort, you can park for free and take the shuttle. So that's a good idea. But there's all kinds of great things, Native American arts and crafts, a basket competition, cultural activities and performers, and, of course, food vendors. So that would be a great way to spend the afternoon. And it is cooler today than it was yesterday, so enjoy the afternoon. We have this week, our wonderful e-bikes group is meeting on Tuesday morning for their outing this week starts at the Dollar Hill Trailhead, and they'll be going to the top of Ward Canyon. So meet at 10 o'clock. Be ready to go at 10, and it's across from the 7-Eleven there in Dollar Point. Now bring a picnic lunch because they're going to stop maybe at the stream at Ward or maybe the beach at Hurricane Bay somewhere, and maybe end with gelato at the West Shore Market. So there's always a fun time and great conversation. Now I mentioned the drum circle. It's on August 14th. And Jim Eaglesmith will be here along with Rabbi Ivan Yakar, elder from the Washoe tribe, and we're going to have also a person to cover that fourth direction. That we're waiting to get confirmation. She's on vacation. But that should be a wonderful time to bless. And so if you have a drum, bring it. If not, bring yourself. We'll have some extras and some other ways to make sound. But it should be a wonderful experience. Our next class is going to be Bible Mystery and Bible Meaning with Donna Axton. It's based on the book by Troward. And so it's going to be a great class. So you can register on the website, or you can go call the office and register, or register here in the hospitality. But do register in advance. We want to make sure we've got enough books for everybody. All right. Adopt a Highway. This is our outreach that we do once a month. So the next one is on August 20th, Saturday morning from 9 to 12. We're usually done in about an hour and a half because the first one was longer, but now that we've got it cleaned up, it's a lot easier to keep it up. And this is wonderful. And Caltrans is now giving us a donation each month when we do this. So and the money's coming in, so it's wonderful to have that support and to take care of our natural environment. Our annual barbecue is going to be the Sunday after that, August 21st at the North Tahoe Regional Park in Tahoe Vista, so save that date. And the other big event this fall is our annual Ananda Expanding Light Retreat Center, September 23rd through the 25th. Gary Lynn Floyd has agreed to be our musician and assistant facilitator, and there are going to be more details later. We're going to make an announcement about the facilitator for next week, I think. But a $200 deposit will hold your spot, so please join us. We also have our ongoing classes they're all drop-in love offering basis. So Tai Chi on Thursday afternoons, then meditation energization 4:35, and I've heard rumor that they might actually come back and do this in the sanctuary when Mary's here in town. And then Friday nights is the Course of Love at 6:30. So lots of things for you. So this is the time now when we welcome our children and bless them, knowing wherever they are on this wonderful Sunday morning in Tahoe. If you would repeat the affirmation with me. We see you, we hear you, we love you. You are a gift from God, and so it is. Okay. Now the last thing, there's lots of things going on to support you, but I want to remind you all that we have our wonderful practitioners here. So we've talked about, stepping up and maybe healing some of those barriers that you're dealing with. So if you would like to speak with a practitioner after the service, you can speak with Brenda Heldoorn, who is our practitioner of the day. Michael Brandman is here in the back. Nancy O'Neill is here. You can speak with me. And I think Carol may be online. Dalbon, and so talk to a practitioner, a minister, or a therapist, or whomever, just a good friend, but make that commitment to grow and let go. All right. So we're going to, if you would, we're going to join in a circle for our song and our closing song and affirmation. You're the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth. And all you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth. And all we are and all we do is a blessing to the world. To the world. All right. We would have our affirmation? Yeah. All right. So, if you would read along with me. My relationships with everything demonstrate my relationship with God. And so it is. All right. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's 11 o'clock, too.
Are we forgotten?
Yeah.
And there's more people online than there are in the church.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah. But I see that Reverend Barb Wally got off early. She sent a greeting to everybody too.
okay.
Yeah. So have a good day. I guess you're a busy guy, huh?
Well, life is happening again. So, yeah, keeping up with the speed of life. Good to see you.
Thanks. You too, Jim.
Hello, Carol. Can you hear me?
Where do we-
Yeah.
we
Hi,
have-
Brian.
Hello.
Oh, let's see. How can we talk now?
We're
Huh? Oh, we can talk right here?
Oh, they must be. Oh, here we are.
oh
I wanted to say hi to Todd.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to? I'll share my. Well, we've got Todd's mic. You can. Let's turn Todd's mic on.
Hi, Carol. How are you?
Good, Todd. It was good seeing you and hearing you.
All right.
It's
How did that
great.
sound
Just
on Zoom?
like the old times, huh?
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're keeping busy. That's great.
Yep. I don't know what to say. Just so much has happened since the last time I saw you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's, I'm glad you're keeping up and evolving, really.
Yep.
Directing that play. That's great.
Yeah.
But you've done that before, haven't you?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh.
I haven't. I'm usually in them, but this kind of presented itself, and the inner voice kind of leapt with joy at the opportunity to direct it, and so I took that on the beginning of May, and it's adults in the cast playing the Peanuts characters, so that's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
To have adults playing those roles, and everything is scaled up on the set to make the adults look small. So there's a mailbox that's as tall as
Wonderful.
the actor that plays Charlie Brown, so it makes the adults look like kids. And it was at the amphitheater at Regional Park,
Oh,
so outdoor facility, and that's been the focus of a lot of my creative energy the last 3 months, working with the cast and the band and getting all that together. Apart from that, I've been working on some drawings and illustrations. I did several drawings over the winter time. So art and music.
That's great. That's a good combination. My dad had that combination.
Yeah.
He was a professional artist and an amateur musician.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
You been
good. Yeah.
good.
I'm, adjusting to being in Sacramento after all those years in Tahoe.
When
But
did you move down there?
March permanently. It
Uh-huh.
started out as it was just going to be, because it's a multi-generational house, that I was just going to be here in the winters because we had that heavy winter.
Right.
And I thought, okay, I've had it after 50 some years.
Which part of Sacramento are you in?
It's called the Pocket. It's near the river and near Highway 5.
I see. So down, like near downtown area.
Yeah, it's real close to Midtown. Like any appointment that I have is like 5 to 10 minutes away. It's pretty close.
Uh-huh.
It's convenient, unlike Tahoe City. Anyway, it's good seeing you, and I hope you can come back again. Are you going to have time again this summer?
I will. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe in September.
Okay.
Well, what summer's going to be? We're almost in the full month of August here.
Okay. Well, we'll be in touch and
Okay.
down a date.
All right. Sounds good.
Very good, Carol. Have a good day.
Thanks for talking with me.
Yep. Take care.
Hi, Pam.
Oh, hi, Brian.
You won't be able to see us because we're not really presentable. So anyway, Linda's here with me. We just wanted to say hello.
Hello, hi Carol, hi Pam.
Hi.
Oh, let's see. I guess this is the one that's hot.
We're working on getting our backdrop and getting ourselves set up so that we can see each other so we can talk.
We can
after,
appear
and
on
then,
screen.
So
You can always blur your background.
Yeah, I noticed that you can do that. Jim did that. Jim Eaglesmith did that today.
Okay, yeah, we would have to do that because we're still living among piles and stacks of boxes, trying to get ourselves settled into this home here. So, anyway, thank you very much for all that you do, Pam, and Carol. Thank you for your friendship and
Everything else.
Yeah. So, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, Brian and Linda, thanks for coming on.
We love you.
Good.
Love you too.
With you. Yeah, enjoy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Is it hot?
Pardon?
Down there?
I can't hear you, Pam.
Is it hot down there?
It's actually not too bad. We've had
it,
some, 80s, and I don't have a problem with
80.
Yeah, it gets around 80.
Yeah.
We have our hot days. We had about maybe 3 or 4 triple-digit days, and that was that.
Oh,
So,
my.
Yeah, we're doing okay though. We're doing good here.
Yeah, it hit the 90s here for the last 3 days, so.
I know.
Well, that's top. I never heard that much.
Oh, yeah.
You don't hear that very often.
No.
Tahoe.
It's interesting the way the patterns of weather are obviously in some places that it's tragic what's going on in the area, Kentucky and stuff. But I'm looking at your weather up there and our weather up here or down here, and it's like, wait a minute, things are kind of not the same. You should be having the cooler weather than we're having. And I'm looking at in places across the country where my family lives, and you would think that like Arizona, where one daughter lives, they had like 9 days of triple digits, mid triple digits and above.
Whoa.
And it's supposed to be warm there, but I don't think that it's supposed to be that hot.
Yeah.
So, and then you move to the middle of the country, and they've got devastating floods. So,
Oh, I know, that's so
Um,
crazy.
yeah,
It's only 71 here.
yeah,
Perfect.
It's gonna be 88 today as a high.
yeah. Yeah, we have 70 right now. And
Cloudy.
if we hit 75, I'll be surprised.
Wow.
So,
That nice coastal air there.
Yep.
that you have.
yeah, the
That's
coastal
true.
air. And we've got, wow, every direction that we drive here is is miles and miles of grapes.
Yeah,
Well, we like grapes. It's better than crowded cities. There's just
true.
grapes loving it in the sun. So good.
Yeah. Hey,
All right, well-
Linda, did you still want to work on that, what do you call it, that auto tie?
Yeah, yeah, I can do that. I didn't receive anything.
What was that, Linda?
I didn't receive anything. You were gonna,
Oh, okay, I need to send you something. Okay.
yeah, so that I could
I'll
just
see if I can get to that this week. It's been without an administrator, it's
crazy. I know.
yeah. It's the Jack and the Jill of all trades here this week.
Yeah, Jill.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's but well, the right person's coming, I know. So and that would be a wonderful thing to have. So I will I'm going to go right in my office on my to-do list, see if I can get that out. So
Perfect.
that would be
That's
great. All right. Well, thank you guys. Good to see you. Good
All
to see
right.
you, Carol.
yeah, thanks, you too.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Okay.
everyone have a good week. Bye-bye.
Same to you guys.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.